Okay, so today we're going to do ELA lesson 2 for grade 5. It's called Elements of Plot, and then when I noticed on the one that we were supposed to cut and paste, the back side was already printed on and it was really small. So I didn't think I was going to be able to write well enough, so I'm just going to start it from like scratch just to make it work a little better. You can cut and actually paste if you want, because it really doesn't matter what's on the back, but I just needed more room. So I'm going to start with Elements of Plot on the top. Okay. And then I'm going to break my paper into, let me see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. So I'm going to fold my paper up there. Fold it again. Let's see how many, let's see, that gave me 4 sections. So I need 6 sections. So I'm just gonna fold it in half one more time. That'll give me 8 sections, even though I don't need 8, I only need 6, but that's okay. Okay, so I folded my paper so that I have 6 nice sections now. All right, and then that means what I'm gonna do for the little top part, instead of using it as a section, I'm gonna draw my actual plot diagram. So that's what all these little marks on the paper look like. It's like this, 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 and this. And I'm going to label them. This is going to be exposition, rising, climax, falling, and resolution. One that I didn't get to squeeze in here, and I'm just going to put it right here. I'm just going to put an arrow. Inciting incident. And I don't think we've talked about it before we went on break. So this will maybe be a new term for you. Okay, now remember, you can pause, you can rewind, you can do whatever you need to do. So instead of, I had like 8 sections, so the bottom one I won't use, and the top one I just used for drawing the plot diagram. So I'm going to make sure I leave room over here, and if I need to, I can just draw a line down. And then my first, which is right here, is exposition. Okay. Next, it's that inciting incident. Then I have the rising action. Okay. Then I have the climax. Then I have falling action. And remember, you don't have to do this. I just did this because I'll have more room to write. And I think that it's good for us to write it instead of just doing the cut and paste, because you learn more when you write. And then this is your resolution. Okay, so we ended up using almost all the little spaces after all. All right, so what you're supposed to do from here, I'm just gonna try to show you underneath here. You're just gonna cut along the lines that you folded, if you folded it. If you didn't fold it and you just eyeballed it, that's okay too. Okay. Because underneath, we're gonna have a sheet of, I'm gonna use notebook paper so that I have lines. Okay, so you're just cutting it. See how I cut it? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of do the same thing. I just have to get my fold right, my original fold. which is going to be up to here. So I just did that. All right, I fold it. I'm going to fold it again. And again, one more time. And I'm going to make sure that they match up. If they don't, then I have to start this all over again. All right, I'm just going to make sure that they all match up pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my lines on this one because I don't want to mess up. I'm going to draw a line here, here, here. So it's about every 3 spaces or so. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, now I want to make sure that I leave enough room also here. So it's a little further in from the margin. So I just kind of marked it on mine. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're not grading on perfection. We're grading on learning something. Okay, so I got mine ready. Now I'm going to do the actual definitions of each. Okay, I'm not going to put the word again because I'm going to have the word on the front flap. So when I actually like glue this or staple it, whatever you have available, tape it even, I'm going to be able to flip it open and read what each of those mean. Okay, so my first one was exposition. I just want to make sure I'm doing it in the right section here. I don't want to have it wrong. Okay, so my section is right here. There we go. Okay, so for exposition, it is the first part of the plot. Okay. Okay, the first part of the plot. This is when you're going to find out about the characters, setting, and basic situation. Okay, it's the beginning of the story. It's, you know, it was a cold and rainy night. Mahogany was sitting by the fireplace waiting for her friend to show up. You know, something like that. Okay? All right, so we're going to go to the inciting incident. That's the one that I said we probably didn't talk about before we went on break. So this might be a new thing for you. But it's an event, and it sets the story in motion. So Mahogany was sitting by the fireplace waiting for her friend. She tried to call her friend, and her friend didn't answer. That could be an inciting incident, okay? All right, so the event that sets the story in motion. Okay, and then it makes the rest of the story possible. So it kind of sets everything up. Makes the rest of the story possible. Remember, if you need to pause, rewind, any of that, you can do that. Okay. It's hard for me because I can't see real well how it's coming out, but I think it's coming out pretty good because I looked at my other video that I did for science and it seemed like it did pretty good. All right, so the rising action, that is the main part of the story. So this is like the meat and potatoes of the story. Okay, this is where a lot of action is going to take place. It moves the plot along. And this is where there's always going to be your main problem or complication, but there's going to be other complications that come along the way. Like, it's never just one thing that goes wrong, and that's like real life. Never just one thing goes wrong. We usually have plenty of things that go wrong. All right. Okay, so we are finished exposition, inciting incident, rising action, and you can just put like little symbols out to the side so that you remember where they line up, so that when you do line it up, you kind of make sure you get it right. So we're going to move into the climax, and this is the most exciting part of the story, okay? The most exciting part of the story. I like that. There we go. And it's the OMG. I love that. It's the OMG. I wasn't expecting that. Okay? It's usually a turning point. Usually a turning point. You either know how the end is going to kind of come, or you know whether it's going to be good or bad, or you know what I mean? Like, you know, if it's gonna be a happy ending or a sad ending by here, usually. All right, so we have the falling action next, and then it's leading to the resolution. So it's events that follow the climax and lead to the resolution. Okay, and then the conflicts start getting solved. Like, you know how I said in the rising action that there was more than one problem that was coming up? Now all those little loose ends are going to tie up. So we're going to talk about conflicts begin moving towards resolution. Okay, now we're going to get into the falling action. Oh, we already did falling action. We're going to do the resolution. I think I did something wrong because I think I'm one off somehow. No, I guess I'm right. Okay, I'm good. All right, it's the end of the story. Okay, it's the loose ends are tied up. Questions are answered and conflicts resolved. And of course I did this kind of fast because you have the ability to pause it, okay? All right, so that's it. You know, like I said, you didn't even have to do that. You could have just cut it out and pasted it, cut it up, and put it into your interactive notebook if you happen to pick that up. Basically, I'm just gonna glue this here to my paper, and then I can just open it up and I can see what's underneath. So that's it. That is it for lesson 2, grade 5, week 14 through 17.